Since 2019, your policy has recognized this requirement. Ms. Pekarek's briefing sheet indicates, quote, the current deferment policy requires the wastewater general manager to obtain authorization from the board each year before reinstating the deferments. This met the requirement for an official action of the board. Just receiving an annual report does not. Article 9, Section 10C further provides, quote, reinstatement or waiver of the termination shall be granted by the board only for substantial reasons of equity and fairness, end quote. This is a policy determination for the board, specifically required under the charter resolution. It cannot be delegated away. Unfortunately, this board and its council have shown a consistent, quote, cutting of the corners approach when it comes to compliance with your rules of order, Kansas law, and now this county's formative documents, including its charter resolutions. Every citizen should be concerned with this lackadaisical approach to legal compliance. Thank you for receiving my comments.
Thank you, Mr. Hobart. Next is Brian Perkins.
Good morning. Good morning. Brian Perkins here, currently residing in Kansas, and I am homeless. There's that annual point in time count that is conducted, and I just want to express how low that number is. A lot of the homeless community that you won't see is hidden. They're hidden for a reason. Either they've lost trust in others, or maybe they just feel safe hidden away because that's what they've adopted their lifestyle. They don't trust others, and it's gotten to that point where they feel like they need to be excluded, and that's their life. There was a quote from the night we voted for from 30 to 50 beds at the Lenexa City Council. And the quote was, let's remember how many of us ran from our cars to get inside this meeting tonight. And let's remember how many of us will run from this meeting to our cars to get to our homes. The cold weather's here. Like, it's here. Nights have gotten chilly. The wind has picked up at nights. How many more nights are we going to have this? I mean, how many more nights are we going to see people walking the streets of Johnson County just to keep going, and they're losing hope every single step of the way? How many more threats is Project 1020 going to get for doing the right thing? I mean, threats for doing the right thing. I really want to say, I don't think it makes sense to each of you. I really don't think it makes sense. Like I've said before, you all have hearts, you all have brains, you're here for a reason. I don't think that makes sense to you. Let's start leading with our hearts. Forget the data. That's when that change happens. When we take that step, that put the hammer down, that's when it's going to happen. That's when the positivity will roll through. And that's when Johnson County will flourish with the homeless community. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Perkins. Thank you, Mr. Perkins. Next, we'll have Jeff Harkness.
Jeff Harkness, Overland Park, Chairman, Commissioners. There is exactly 3,143 counties and equivalents in our country today. Johnson County incorporated in 1855 and enacted home rule in 2000. Local government performs what most people would consider the business end or the day-to-day operations of government. Government is best, which governs the least and closest to the people. Deficit spending is supposed to keep our country, the USA, together and make the world a better place to live. In 1980, after 50 years, almost 50 years of nation-centered governance, we shifted towards new federalism, which was a good change. I took this time to study our dual economy, as I call it, in two forms. At the federal level, we have free market capitalism. At the local and state level, we have free enterprise, mercantilism, commercialism. Capitalism is the most innovative force in the world and the best way to promote commerce, the #1 activity. Commercialism, mercantilism, and franchising help our states and localities identify their culture and identity. We use these concepts to help prepare us for events like the World Cup and to establish cities and stuff where you can work, live, play, and raise a family in. The Beta generation started this year. Children are our future. I think we can all agree. What we need to do, all groups need to target. Well over half of my property tax bill goes to schools. I think we have a common target we can work on. I don't know where all that money goes. It might be time for us to audit the school districts in JUCO and see where it goes. And then we can all work together to help return the education industry back to the earth without burning up in the atmosphere. Thank you much.
Thank you, Mr. Harkness. Next is Clay Smith.
Good morning, Chair and Commissioners. My name is Clay Smith. I live in unincorporated Johnson County, but I'm here today on behalf of the professional paramedics of Johnson County. My comments represent the views of my membership and myself in my union role. Thank you for the progress made over the last few years. The STEP plan was a major step forward, and it finally addressed some of the compression created by years of inconsistent raises, mid-cycle adjustments, and pay scale resets. But the fact that we had to rebuild the pay structure multiple times in just the last several years is exactly why we need union recognition. For a long time, our salary system moved unpredictably. Raises didn't match inflation, reliance on promotion to correct compression, one-time adjustments, and a pay table that shifted more with budget pressures than operational need. That instability led to new employees earning nearly the same as long-serving paramedics. It slowed recruitment, strained retention, and drove morale down. And before the STEP plan, EMS had fallen below the county's own policy of staying near the 50th percentile of the market. That didn't happen overnight. It happened over years, and employees were repeatedly raising the alarm. These aren't labor problems. These are structural problems, and structural problems require structural solutions. Repealing Policy 104 and recognizing our union would create a stable, permanent mechanism to protect pay system. It would ensure that adjustments to the STEP plan, cost of living increases, and market studies are consistent, collaborative, and transparent, not reactive. It would prevent the cycle where compensation falls behind the market and must be fixed in an emergency fashion. Recognition isn't about conflict. It's about partnership and protecting the investment you've already made in the workforce. It helps ensure competitive pay, predictable staffing, and the stability that keeps response times down and experience on the street. Thank you for your time and the continued support for the people of EMS.
Thank you, Mr. Smith. I believe that's all the registered public commenters we have during this general public comment session. So at this time, we'll move to notes for the record. Please note that I'll be signing the following. First is an addendum of the Community Development Block Grant and Home Investment Partnership Subgrant Memorandum of Understanding approved by the board and executed on June 27, 2024, amending the MOU's method for determining the CDBG grant subgrant from calculating the city's percentage before the amount of public service funds is determined to calculate the city's percentage after the amount of public service funds is determined. Further, I'll be signing an agreement with the City of Overland Park for construction of a stormwater management project known as 95th and Moody to 101st and Connell stormwater improvements. Further, I'll be signing administrative resolution number WD 25-038 to enlarge the privately financed sewer district and providing for the assessments of all applicable fees, charges, and levies of the consolidated main sewer district in the vicinity of 184th Terrace Street and Long Street. And finally, I'll be signing administrative resolution number WD 25-039 to enlarge the privately financed sewer district and providing for the assessments of all applicable fees, charges, and levies of the consolidated main sewer district in the vicinity of 83rd and Mize Road. Thank you very much. We are in a cold agenda. We do have a proposed consent agenda. However, given various requests from commissioners, the consent agenda will be minimized. And the consent agenda will just be items 1 and 3. Noting for the record, I'm sorry, did you request number 3 off as well? Okay, well, then it'll just be number 1. So number 1 is the approval of the October 9, 2025 business session minutes. Is there any comments or motion regarding the business session minutes? Commissioner Hanslick?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I move to approve the October 9th, 2025 business session minutes.
Myers, second.
So moved by Commissioner Hanslick and seconded by Commissioner Myers. Would the clerk call the roll, please?
Commissioner Fast.
Aye.
Commissioner Myers.
Myers, aye.
Commissioner Brewer.
Brewer, aye.
Commissioner Hanslick.
Hanslick, aye.
Commissioner Ashcraft.
Yes.
Chairman Kelly.
Aye. We have 6 in favor and none against. Is that consistent with your count?
It is.
Very good. So we'll move on to number 2, and I'll note for the abundance of caution, I'll be recusing myself from number 2, and I'll let Commissioner Hanslick handle the discussion on item number 2. Would the clerk or her representative read item number 2, please?
Consider authorizing an intergovernmental agreement with the city of Spring Hill, Kansas to assist with building inspections on an emergency as needed basis to ensure timely completion of inspection processing.
Thank you for reading that. And we have with us today Jay Leipzig, Director of Planning, Housing and Community Development. Welcome, Mr. Leipzig, and would you like to tell us a little bit more about this item, please?
Good morning, Madam Chair. Jay Leipzig, the Planning Department, or Planning Director. We were contacted by the city of Spring Hill a couple of months ago to inquire if we could provide some assistance to them for building inspections. They have, it's a rapidly growing city. They currently are very understaffed in their building inspection department. They don't have a building official, nor an inspector, nor a community development director. So they're using outside agencies to conduct the plan inspection, plan review, as well as the inspection. And so before you this morning is an agreement, an intergovernmental agreement for the county to provide inspection services to the city of Spring Hill on a very temporary basis until March 31st of 2026 to provide those services. They have another entity that's still doing the plan review, which is the piece of that takes the most amount of time. We have done this previously in the past for certain projects that either there was a level of expertise that was needed beyond the scope of typical inspection or the plan review. We did it similarly with the city of Merriam. We've done it with the city of Spring Hill in the past a number of years ago as well. So as I said, it's very temporary. We anticipate that it'll be no more than probably about 10 hours per week. We have an inspector that lives in Spring Hill, so it's convenient on his behalf as well. And also just a small point for Resource X it aligns with some of the recommendations of that as well, because we're providing fee services to help in collaboration with other entities that are in the county. Happy to answer any questions you might have.
Well, thank you, Mr. Leipzig. It certainly represents the joint interest of both the county and the city to make sure the buildings are in safe and good shape. So thank you for presenting this. Let's see here, Mr. Commissioner Ashcraft, I think you were first.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Mr. Leipzig, just a couple of quick questions. How was the $150 rate established? And will that cover any overtime expense that our staff will be incurring to do their regular duties in addition to this?
Mr. Ashcraft, thank you for the question. The $150 rate was determined after polling several of the entities that do this type of work. They are all very, very busy. And so we've had issues with, or other cities have had issues with even getting inspectors to be timely with the inspections. Also, there's a real push for the end of the year to get things wrapped up and get things completed. The other thing to note that these are new homes, and so it requires less inspection time to complete these. And there again, just on the inspection, not on the plan review. The other piece is that we feel that by doing this, we'll be able to adjust the other hours for the other inspections for that work, so it won't include any overtime. We don't anticipate needing those services. We still have we've multiple inspectors doing multiple duties, so we should be able to provide coverage for the county itself as well as.
So how do you establish $150 rather than $200 or $85?
That's the competitive rate
among
a couple of agencies that we contacted, and they're all kind of right in that $150
Thank you.
threshold.
Thank you. Commissioner Brewer.
Mr. Leipzig, thank you. You actually answered the two questions I had around staff capacity and if this was paying for itself. Madam Vice Chair, when you're ready, I am happy to make the motion.
Any other? Commissioner Myers.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Thank you, Madam Chair. I think you answered my first question, which along with the others was stress on the department, whether this was going to have any type of negative effect. I think you feel like our department can handle this. But I also want to know if there's any type of legal risk involved with us doing those inspections.
There's a, Commissioner, and I can let Peg jump in if she needs to, but there is an indemnification in the contract. There's also provisions for, that for any legal, occurrences that is covered in the contract itself.
Thank you. Commissioner Brewer.
So just to follow up, I have to believe since they were doing third party contracting to private inspection companies, that the language that you're referencing is similar to what a third party contractor would have in a contract, saying that you're contracting me to do this work, but I'm not assuming the liability elements of it. Would that be an accurate statement?
Commissioner, yes, that would be.
Okay, thank you.
All right, seeing no other oh, you had another comment?
I was just going to commend staff for helping our sister communities. I appreciate that effort, Mr. Leipzig.
Hey, seeing no other comments, I will ask Commissioner Brewer to make the motion.
I move to authorize the intergovernmental agreement with the city of Spring Hill, Kansas to assist with building inspections on an emergency as needed basis to ensure timely completion of the inspection processing. This temporary agreement will be in effect through March 2026 with reimbursement to the county at a rate of $150 per hour for standard building inspection services.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
Okay, Commissioner Brewer made the motion, Commissioner Ashcraft seconded. Seeing no other comments, I would ask the clerk to call the roll, please.
Commissioner Fast, Commissioner Myers,
Myers, aye.
Commissioner Brewer,
Brewer, aye.
Commissioner Hanslick,
Hanslick, aye.
Commissioner Ashcraft,
Yes.
and Chairman Kelly has recused himself.
Okay, I have 5 in favor and 1 recusal. Does that reflect your count also?
It does.
All right, well, that is passed and I will turn the meeting back over to Chair Kelly.
Thank you very much. At this time, we'll go to resolution number 128-25. This considers adopting a resolution to prohibit truck traffic on certain roads designated by Johnson County Public Works and the Johnson County Sheriff's Office. Brian Sims from Public Works is here to present the item. Mr. Sims, welcome back, or I guess welcome downstairs.
Is that Mike?
Mr. Sims, I'm sorry. Can you just make sure the microphone's on?
Testing. All
There
right,
you go. All
Sorry
right.
about that. Let me rewind there a little bit. Good morning, Ryan Sims with Public Works. We've been coordinating with the Sheriff's Office to establish a no trucks area for a local street area off 199th Street east of 169 Highway. Certain local roadways such as this area aren't suitable for regular use by truck traffic due to narrow roads with no outlets and no place to turn around. There has been an ongoing concern recently with this area, as several trucks have either overturned or off-tracked onto the adjacent grass, damaging front yards and utility boxes. The tight turning radius make it very hard for large trucks hauling trailers to maneuver around the curves. When considering roads for restricting truck traffic, reasonable alternate access needs to be in place, and access does exist as 199th Street is open to truck traffic adjacent to this area. This resolution will allow an exception for local trucks, emergency vehicles, agricultural vehicles, and road maintenance vehicles. So if there is a specific need for trucks to access this area, they will be exempt from the ordinance. And if there are any additional questions at this time, I'll be glad to answer them.
Thank you very much, Mr. Sims. And this tool is one of the tools that is recognized in the manual of uniform traffic control devices. Things like stop signs, yield signs, speed limits, or no truck are the tools in the arsenal that can be utilized here. This provides the authority only on the given streets. And if these streets were to be improved or reimagined in some way, this could be reconsidered by a resolution of the board at that time. Is all that correct?
That's correct. If we would need to in the future, we could rescind this resolution.
All right. Thank you very much. Questions from Commissioner Hanslick?
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Sims. In the past, when we've had these discussions, one of the issues has been, will there be a notification to area truck drivers or trucks in that area on, and I don't know what the name of it is, but whatever kind of app or notification. So they'll know in advance not to use that portion of 199th.
So we do our best to reach out. Typically, the sheriff's office, considers a short time period for an educational period. If trucks do happen to go through there after the signs are up, letting them know, hey, please do not use this route, use the acceptable routes along 199th Street. But since different truck companies use different apps and everything, it's hard to communicate to each and every single one of them as far as the restrictions and what apps or what apps are using, telling what routes to use, so to speak. So we do our best to communicate with the local companies.
Thank you. Because I know myself, I'm not used to driving on that kind of narrow road. And I was just down there not long ago, and I'm scared just driving my car.
Yeah.
So
Thank-
hope no trucks even try it.
Thank you. Commissioner Brewer.
Just a couple of questions. One, a request. The materials that are posted publicly and the materials that we receive reference in the briefing sheet and Exhibit A. I'm sure the Exhibit A is a map of the streets that are impacted. They're not included online. I just checked. And I did not see them as an attachment online, and they're not in the body of the briefing sheet. So I would suggest that we update what's online so that if somebody is attuning to this particular agenda item, and if they happen to be a truck driver, they want to know, what reference area, as you know, you and I chatted before the meeting, there's a different area of the unincorporated area that also use Vine Street as a naming street and Main Street as a naming street. So I would just ask that we update our online materials to include that Exhibit A, which I'm assuming is the map you showed me before the meeting of where that's at, so that folks who are invested in this particular issue are able to see the streets that are impacted. And then my only other question is, since these streets are not really suitable for regular truck traffic, do we determine that when there's been some issues, or do we determine, is there any 360 that we do of streets and make sure that street signage is aligning with street use policy? What's our determination of other than what you described as some accidents in that area, of determining when a street really is not suitable for truck traffic, regular truck traffic?
It's more reviewing crash history, as well as, for this particular area, a couple of residents within that particular little area did reach out to us, letting us know about their concerns with the trucks overturning the area. So it's more of hearing from local residents and reviewing any recent issues from the sheriff's office or from crash history that we get from them.
I appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you very much.
And just one quick, if I may, back to Ms. Hanslick's question. We do intend to release a public notice with a map, to your point, of the area that will be impacted with the no truck. So that there will be some communication after, assuming this gets approved.
Thank you.
Thank you. Commissioner Myers.
I just wanted to let you know I have a motion when you're ready.
Why don't you go ahead with the motion, sir?
Okay, I move to approve and adopt resolution number 128-25, prohibiting truck traffic on certain roads designated by Johnson County Public Works and the Johnson County Sheriff's Office.
Brewer, second.
Moved by Commissioner Myers, seconded by Commissioner Brewer. Not seeing further questions. Would the clerk call the roll?
Commissioner Fast,
Aye.
Commissioner Myers,
Myers, aye.
Commissioner Brewer,
Brewer, aye.
Commissioner Hanslick,
Hanslick, aye.
Commissioner Ashcraft,
Yes.
Chairman Kelly.
Aye, 6 in favor, none against. Is that consistent with your count?
It is.
Very good. We'll move on to number 4 at this time. And again, out of an abundance of caution, I'm going to recuse myself and allow Commissioner Hanslick to lead the item.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. And again, we have Mr. Sims to discuss this item. If the clerk could please read it.
Consider approving an agreement with KDOT, the City of Olathe, and the City of Spring Hill for the US 169 K7 corridor study in Johnson County in an amount not to exceed $67,000.
Mr. Sims.
Good morning again, Ryan Sims with Public Works. Johnson County is partnering with Olathe, Spring Hill, and KDOT for a US 169 K7 corridor study from the Miami-Johnson County line up to I-35. Along this 8-mile stretch, there's been a considerable amount of development and changes in land use since the original corridor management plan was originally adopted in 2006. So now 19 years later, it is appropriate for the study to be updated. As an entity having jurisdiction along the corridor, KDOT has asked Johnson County to participate in the study. With increasing development, design of the corridor will be reevaluated to provide a balance of sustainable development as well as maximizing safety and capacity of K7. The cost split of $67,000 has been divided equally amongst Johnson County, Olathe, and Spring Hill as part of an overall collective funding limit of $201,000. KDOT will cover the additional $450,000 up to a total max of $651,000. KDOT will be administering the study through a consultant as well as any public outreach needed during the development of the study. If there are any questions at this time, I'm glad to answer them.
Any questions for Mr. Sims? Commissioner Brewer?
Thank you. Not so much of a question, but really full-throated support for this. I had the privilege of sitting on the Safe Streets for All process with the city of Spring Hill, and the area that's under study, that's going to be under study. I will say it would be understating to say they are very much eagerly awaiting this study, and a number of these areas that will be a part of this study were identified as priority 1 areas in the state Safe Streets for All work that's been done. So we have a lot of residents and a number of our municipalities that are very excited to see this study get started. So very happy to see this moving forward. And I appreciate the work Johnson County's public works efforts in all these areas. So just wanted to say my thanks.
Thank you. Commissioner Ashcraft?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Mr. Sims, I'm supportive of this, but I was having difficulty with the math. 3 times 67 is 201. The state's going to put in 201.
The
That
state will
doesn't
be
quite-
putting in up to 450,000.
450,000.
Yeah, I know, and I understand it does not explicitly state that in the fiscal responsibility table, but I did confirm with KDOT's project administrator, and they are agreeable to up to $450,000.
Okay, well, it says 201 on the briefing sheet. That's why I was just confused. So, and then if it were to go over 651,000, what happens then?
So if it goes over 651,000, whatever additional amount will be split among Johnson County, Olathe, and Spring Hill. So for example, if it goes over 30,000, we're all on the hook for another $10,000 to complete the study.
So by agreeing to this, if there are hopefully not cost overruns of some unidentified amount, we're automatically liable for that, or will it be back before us?
I believe we're automatically liable, but KDOT will have to give us a substantial advance notice if they are going to run over that initially agreed upon amount with the consultant.
Okay, thank you.
Commissioner Brewer?
I'm ready with a motion when it's appropriate.
Okay, why don't you go ahead, please?
I move to approve an agreement with KDOT, the city of Olathe, and the city of Spring Hill for the US 169 K7 corridor study in Johnson County in an amount not to exceed $67,000.
Do I hear a second? Well, I'll make the second.
I can do second.
Oh, Commissioner Fast. Okay, we'll take your second. Any other comments? Commissioner Ashcraft?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Mr. Sims, is there anything in the extended agreement with KDOT that identifies, limits our exposure if for some reason this project goes over the 651,000?
That's a good question. I have to look into that and get back with you on that.
Okay.
Okay.
Any other questions or comments? Oh, Commissioner Brewer?
So just a follow-up to Commissioner Ashcraft's question, I think if I'm understanding correctly, we're taking action on something that the briefing sheet indicates there's a maximum of a $650,000 exposure. Our current exposure is $67,000. If something changes, does it come back before us for any type of proactive decision making? Or does then it fall under what's permissible for expenditures that do not come before us? Is that a correct kind of pathway that you were going with the question that you had?
Ms. Brewer, yes, or Commissioner Brewer, yes. Because in one part it says the maximum of 651, and that's understandable. But then later on, it says after the project maximum, it's 651,000 is reached, we're on the hook. And so I was just wanting clarification on that.
And probably for me, the clarification is since the motion itself indicates that we're approving something not to exceed $67,000, then it would imply that if it does, we've taken action on something that cannot exceed 67,000. So just maybe a technical explanation would be helpful.
Yeah, so so Jeff is with Public Works. This is a study project, so KDOT will be able to control its costs very well. It's not a construction project. They will come to us before there is a change of scope to get agreement before approving something with the consultant that would go over the maximum amount and let us know at that time and ask us if we would be willing to do that. If it does exceed 67,000, we would follow our purchasing policy that does have a small change order authority in there that we can do. And if it goes above that, then we would have to come back to the board for your approval.
And I'm supportive of this. It's just the briefing sheet's just a little squishy.
Yeah, I think KDOT's really trying to control their costs right now. So they're saying this is the most we'll do.
Well, that would be different.
So, yes, so they are really trying to control those study costs, but it is a study. It's something that's easily controlled versus a construction project.
Oh. Thank you. Ms. Trent?
I'm sorry, I was looking at the chair and I forgot it was you. I apologize. Vice Chair Hanslick and Commissioner Ashcraft, in looking at the agreement itself, it says exactly what is outlined, that we are limited up to 67,000. So there is no, so if there is, we would come back. The briefing sheet may not be as clear, but the agreement itself does say that.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for that clarification. Seeing no other comments. We do have a motion on the table and seconded. So if the clerk would please call the roll.
Commissioner Fast,
Aye.
Commissioner Myers,
Myers, aye.
Commissioner Brewer,
Brewer, aye.
Commissioner Hanslick,
Hanslick, aye.
Commissioner Ashcraft,
Yes.
and Chairman Kelly has recused himself.
Okay, I have 5 in favor, 1 recusal, so the motion passes. Thank you, Mr. Sims. And I would turn this back over to Chair Kelly.
Thank you very much, Vice Chair. We'll move on at this time to resolution number 141-25. This would appoint the Second District Commission's nominee, Bonnie Lindbergh, to the Johnson County Public Art Commission. I note for the record that this vacancy is due to the reestablishment of the Public Art Commission, and I appreciate Commissioner Myers' nomination of a good nominee, which I support. Commissioner Ashcraft, did you have further questions on this one?
Just to clarify what you said, Mr. Chairman. So is this a new appointment or, a brand new person and not because of the reorganization?
Because the reorganization of vacancy occurred, and then Commissioner Myers has the opportunity to fill it, and he has nominated Bonnie Lindbergh.
Thank you.
Commissioner Hanslick,
I'd be glad to make a motion.
go.
Unless-
Let's Commissioner Fast got a question.
Bonnie is in the first district. She serves on the Library Foundation, Prairie Village, former city council. Great recommendation. I like you appointing District 1 people.
We're reporting Johnson County. But go ahead with the motion, Commissioner Hanslick.
I move that the Board of County Commissioners approve resolution number 141-25, appointing the Second District Commissioner's nominee, Bonnie Lindbergh, to the Public Art Commission.
Myers, second.
So moved by Commissioner Hanslick and seconded by Commissioner Myers. Not seeing further questions, I'd ask the clerk to call the roll, please.
Commissioner Fast,
Aye.
Commissioner Myers,
Myers, aye.
Commissioner Brewer,
Brewer, I.
Commissioner Hanslick,
Hanslick, aye.
Commissioner Ashcraft,
Yes.
Chairman Kelly.
Aye, 6 in favor, none against. Is that consistent with your count?
It is.
Very good. Then we'll move on to resolution number 142-25. This is appointing my nominees, Kristen Riot, Scott Schulte, and Laura Ish, to the Sustainability Coalition. These are all reappointments. Any questions, comments?
No, thank you, sir.
Okay. Commissioner Hanson,
I'd be glad to make a motion.
please do.
I move that the Board of County Commissioners approve resolution number 142-25, appointing the chair's nominees, Kristen Riot, Scott Schulte, and Laura Ish, to the Sustainability Coalition.
Brewer, second.
So moved by Commissioner Hanslick, seconded by Commissioner Brewer. Not seeing further questions at this time. That's clerk call the roll.
Commissioner Fast,
I.
Commissioner Myers,
Myers, aye.
Commissioner Brewer,
Brewer, I.
Commissioner Hanslick,
Hanslick, aye.
Commissioner Ashcraft,
Yes.
Chairman Kelly.
Aye, 6 in favor, none against. Is that consistent with your count?
It is.
Very good. Then we'll move on to resolution number 143-25. This considers the nomination of the chair's appointee, David Poskin, to the Johnson County Housing and Community Development Advisory Council. This is a reestablishment, but a new nomination. I appreciate Mr. Poskin's willingness to serve and think he'll do a great job.
Thank you,
Commissioner
Chair.
Hanson?
I appreciate your nominating David Poskin to this committee. His wife, Mary Lynn Poskin, is a state representative. And just this week, she made me aware that she and her husband are working on building a 3D printed house in Topeka that will most likely be the first ADA accessible home in 3D printed home in Kansas. So I think his nomination to the Housing and Community Development Advisory Council, it makes a lot of sense.
Commissioner Brewer?
And I just want to echo that, especially with his own knowledge around ADA compliance issues. I think that expertise is going to be important around this table. So I appreciate that nomination.
Absolutely.
Very good.
I'm glad to make a motion.
Please go ahead.
I move that the Board of County Commissioners approve resolution number 143-25, appointing the chair's nominee, David Poskin, to the Johnson County Housing and Community Development Advisory Council.
Brewer, second.
Moved by Commissioner Hanslick, second by Commissioner Brewer. Not seeing further questions at this time. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Commissioner Fast,
I.
Commissioner Myers,
Myers, aye.
Commissioner Brewer,
Brewer, I.
Commissioner Hanslick,
Hanslick, aye.
Commissioner Ashcraft,
Yes.
Chairman Kelly.
Aye, 6 in favor, none against. Is that consistent with your count?
It is.
Very good. Then we'll move on at this time to resolution number 144-25. This considers the appointments of chair's nominees, Charles W. McAllister Jr., Jay Moyers, Celia Khan, Kathleen Smith, Samantha Von End, and Haile Sims to the Diversity, Equity, Inclusion Coalition. These are all reappointments. Commissioner Ashcraft.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I was going to note that Mr. McAllister also serves on the library board.
And we appreciate his service. Commissioner Myers,
Chairman, I have a motion when you're ready.
go ahead.
I move that the Board of County Commissioners approve resolution number 144-25, appointing the chair's nominees, Charles W. McAllister Jr., Jay Moyer, Saliha Khan, Kathleen Smith, Samantha Von End, and Haile Sims to the Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Coalition.
Hanslick, second.
So moved by Commissioner Myers, seconded by Commissioner Hanslick. Not seeing further questions at this time. Will the clerk call the roll, please?
Commissioner Fast,
I.
Commissioner Myers,
Myers, aye.
Commissioner Brewer,
Brewer, I.
Commissioner Hanslick,
Hanslick, aye.
Commissioner Ashcraft,
Yes.
Chairman Kelly.
Aye, 6 in favor, none against. Is that consistent with your count?
It is.
Very good. Then we'll move on to resolution number 151-25. This appoints the chair's nominees, Santa Wilburn, Carol Gonzalez, and James or Jim Taronis to the Civil Service Board. I'll note that this is due to the reorganization. Carol Gonzalez and Jim Taronis are reappointments, and we're excited to welcome Santa Wilburn. Commissioner Ashcraft?
Mr. Chairman, is Mr. Tronis also on the DEI board, or he was at one time?
He was at one time, but he's going to continue his service on the Civil Service Board.
Okay, thank you.
Questions, comments, or a motion? Commissioner Myers?
I have a motion. I'm sorry, I've lost my page. I move that I move that the Board of County Commissioners approve Resolution 151-25, appointing the chair's nominees, Santa Wilburn, Carol Gonzalez, James Charonis, to the Civil Service Board.
Hanslick, second.
Moved by Commissioner Myers and seconded by Commissioner Hanslick. With no further comments or questions at this time, we'll ask the clerk to call the roll.
Commissioner Fast,
Aye.
Commissioner Myers,
Myers, aye.
Commissioner Brewer,
Brewer, aye.
Commissioner Hanslick,
Hanslick, aye.
Commissioner Ashcraft.
Yes.
Chairman Kelly.
Aye, 6 in favor, none against. Is that consistent with your count?
It is.
Very good. Well, then at this time, we'll move on to what is previously designated as the action agenda. We'll start with number 10. That's IFB number 2025-038. Consider authorizing term and supply contracts with multiple firms to provide in-home services through the Johnson County Area Agency on Aging for an aggregate amount not to exceed $1.75 million. The term will be for 1 year, effective December 1st, 2025. Tim Wolf here to present the item. Mr. Wolf, welcome.
Thanks, Chairman and Commissioners. Tim Wolf, Aging and Human Services. Here today asking for what seems to be our annual event of authorizing contracts for our in-home service providers. These are the contracts that we have for providers that work with clients within the Area Agency on Aging that are needing services to help keep them in their homes and not go into long-term placement. So it's items such as home care, like bath aid, attendant care, respite, medication management. There's just a variety of services that the providers can provide that really help, like I said, keep the individuals in their home and in the communities where they want to be. Really lost my mind for a minute. There was an IFB that was put out on August 25th asking for proposals on how people could, or how vendors could meet the services. There were 25 companies that looked at the IFB and then there were 16 that responded. And so what we've been doing the last few years has just been awarding those contracts to all that respond, due to the fact that what we've identified is that there's not one contractor that can provide all the services that may be needed across the entire Johnson County. And so having a vast array of providers is what's really, really important for us at this point. And so with that, I'll stand for any questions.
Well, Mr. Wolf, let me first, on behalf of the board, say thank you. I know everyone's going to want to say thank you for the incredible service that AHS provides here. One of the points in the briefing sheet that I want to note is that this will serve 640 clients a year. It's the cost avoidance to the taxpayer that is such a big impact here. A nursing facility costs for a Medicaid bed per client is $96,000 a year. And for this service, the annual cost is $2,734. That's a cost avoidance of $93,266 per client, plus the added intangible benefit, which is hard to quantify, but we understand is very real, allowing people to age gracefully in their homes. So I want to thank you for that. One question on the procurement. It's my understanding that 13 of these providers are ones that we have got experience with before and are welcoming them back. And the 3 new ones that we are welcoming have been through not only the procurement process, but the appropriate checks to ensure safety and welcoming them into our residents' homes.
Yes, that's correct. And just to kind of clarify too, all of our providers have to do background checks on any of the individuals that they hire to provide in-home services. Part of our team, our business operations team, is required annually to conduct audits with our providers. And one part of that audit is also reviewing employee files to ensure that background checks have been completed and that they are not placing individuals in homes that could potentially cause more risk.
I appreciate that, and I appreciate the diverse locations of these suppliers to be able to impact folks all throughout the county. So thank you very much, Commissioner Brewer.
Yes. So thank you, Chair. You actually touched upon the very issue. So first I want to say, even if you had one contractor who could do all of this, I think it's very, I think it's a wise move to have a good bench depth of different contractors that you can work with for these different services. I appreciate understanding that the expectation is that all service providers do the background checks. I appreciate that you do an annual audit to make sure they're in compliance. Can you describe a little bit about how you monitor over the year of a contract, just to make sure that the provider and the services that they're providing and how they're showing up in that space is meeting the expectations that you have and the expectation that our residents who are receiving those services have?
Yeah, I think, Commissioner Burr, thank you for that question. I think there's a wide variety of ways that happens. You know, our eligibility and options specialist team, they are out in the community and in the residents' homes many times. They have great relationships with our clients. And so right off the bat, the first thing is that if a client or a resident is having an issue with a provider, they will notify us immediately. At that point, then we begin working with that individual and giving them the list of providers so that, again, they can choose who they want to work with, but our team will work with them to ensure that they're getting a provider that can meet their needs. And so that's the first part, is literally the resident contacting us or their family contacting us and letting us know that there's an issue. I think the other thing is we have quarterly provider meetings. And so our business operations team and administration team is talking with the providers, bringing up issues that we've been made aware of, so that as a collective, everybody's aware of that and monitoring that way. And then thirdly, I think that if we continue to, or once we get a complaint about a provider, and then if it's a continued complaint, we are having those discussions, and I've been involved in some of those discussions myself with the leadership of that organization to figure out what remedies may need to take place.
Excellent. Thank you. I appreciate that level of detail. So I appreciate it. Thank you.
We've got Commissioner Ashcraft and Commissioner Hanson.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Wolf, I very much appreciate and agree with your pooled approach in terms of service providers. It allows you to actually institute a form of managed competition. If you have a provider that's just not coming up to snuff, thank you, and you move on to someone else. So good job. I appreciate that approach. Couple of questions though. 640 really doesn't sound like a lot. Well, what is the gap? What is the projected projected need now, and how close are we getting to filling that need?
You know, I think that's
an estimate's fine. I mean, or are we close?
Yeah, I was gonna say, I think that's a very tough question, because what we're identifying every day are more and more people that have needs, that those needs are many times going unmet. And so whenever they get with us, we're trying our best to meet those needs. I think that to give you an exact number, I could not do. I can give you an estimate. I feel like there are a lot of individuals out in the community that need services that aren't getting them at this point, but it may be because they don't know about the services. The individuals that do contact us that we are putting on our services at this point, I can knock on wood and say we don't have a wait list for in-home services.
I'll stop you there because I wanted to redirect, Mr. Chairman. I appreciated the point you made about the ROI, the cost benefit of nursing home costs versus this kind of service. And I was just wondering, is this an issue we might consider including in our federal legislative agenda, to look at how much flexibility there there is in Medicaid funds that could be used to keep people in their homes. And I know that goes up against the nursing home industry, which is a substantial force, but in terms of, you know, the value of life and the quality of life staying in your own home for every day, it's a remarkable cost benefit for everyone involved, including the taxpayers.
Exactly. And I can just throw out too that, you know, Commissioner Ashcraft, the Older Americans Act, that's exactly why that was established, was to keep people in the community and to divert them from nursing facilities
Yeah.
or long-term placement.
I mean, better use of those dollars. I mean, it's a win-win, or as you would say, win-win-win. There, you don't have to raise taxes. You can actually provide more services to people for the same or even less money. So I don't know if that's in our agenda or
What, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, but what I invite you to do is speak with Ms. Nguyen in the, you know, intervening week. We do have the Legislative Platform Committee of the Whole coming up next week on Thursday, the 13th. And if there's a specific piece of legislation, whether it's the Older Americans Act or something else that we could point to, I definitely think that'd be a good discussion at that time.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Commissioner Hanslick, you were next, then we'll go to Commissioner Fast.
Thank you. Somewhat following up on Commissioner Ashcraft's question, can you talk a bit about the funding? Where does this funding come from for these services? I know that
Yeah.
Medicaid can be part of the mix, but is it Senior Care Act?
Yeah, so great question, Commissioner Hansick. So currently, the funding sources that we use to provide those services are basically threefold. It's the Older Americans Act, which is you know, roughly about $232,000 that we have for that. We have the Senior Care Act, that is the monies that were established by the Kansas legislatures, and we have about $983,000 of that we spend on in-home services. And then we are fortunate that the county has agreed to provide funding services, and so that's through the aging care services, as well as monies that we asked specifically last year for in-home services, which is approximately $535,000. So that's what makes up that 1.75.
Well, thank you. Can you just speak a little bit about what's the current status of the Older Americans Act?
So at this point, it has not changed from the last time that we've talked. It's still not been reauthorized. We've still had communications with all members, but with the shutdown at this point, there's not been any movement. I will be in Washington, DC the first week of December, and hopefully we'll have more insight at that point, or hopefully have some progress made on getting it reauthorized.
At this point, are we still getting our OAA reimbursements?
At this point, yes, we are.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Commissioner Fast.
Yeah, I was wondering, is that OA, is that a yearly grant, a monthly? How do you get funding through OAA?
So Older Americans Act is distributed through ACL, which then the Administration for Community Living, which then distributes that money to the state units on aging. And so then we receive it from the KDAD, that's our state unit on aging. And so we provide them monthly invoices, monthly bills, and then get reimbursed.
Oh, so it is a monthly,
Yeah, we have to, yes, we have to provide
and
expenses.
through the shutdown, you're still getting that?
Yes, at this point, yes.
So during COVID, we allocated, I thought, $200,000 more to senior care, this program, right? Or was that over 3 years, 200,000? Are we still appropriating that?
Yeah, so what you're referring to is the aging care services. Believe that was done right before I came. So I came in 22. I think it was around that time. So it was 250,000 the first year, 250,000 the second year, and then 500,000 the third year and ongoing. So yes, you're still allocated. We're allocated that money.
So you said in here like 650 people we serve. With that additional allocation, how many more have you been able to serve? I mean, were we down to 400 without that allocation?
You know, to be honest, Commissioner Fast, that's a great question. I'd have to go back and look and see what the allocation was at that time. As I said, it was prior to me, but I can get you that number.
Well, yeah, I just would like, it'd be good to see the benefit and the impact of that additional allocation, how many people did we keep out of the nursing home from that additional support?
Yeah, I
And, you
can-
know, once again, Johnson County is stepping up because our federal and state is not stepping up.
Yeah, I can find that for you.
Mr. Wolf, I appreciate there's a lot of great energy around a discussion on the Older Americans Act and what we might do to ensure partnerships with the state and federal level. And I look forward to continuing that discussion amongst the board and with you, whether it be at our legislative platform committee, of the whole, or at another special study session where we specifically discuss the increase in aging population in our community and how we best address that given current economic circumstances. But I'd like to invite us to get back to the term and supply contracts that are in front of us today, which is a budgeted item, which we are attempting to tackle. So Commissioner Burr,
So to that end, I'm happy when you're ready to make a motion.
why don't you go ahead?
I move to authorize a term and supply contract with A Friend in Need Home Care, About You Home Care LLC, in-home support of Northeast Kansas, DBA Catholic Community Home Care, Catholic Community Service, H&M Integrated Investments, DBA Bright Star Care, Teakwood Investments, DBA First Light Home Care of Overland Park, Heart of America Home Health Care LLC, MHS Home Health, Nest in Home Care, and Transportation LLC, Focus Healthcare, TAV Home Health LLC, Thoughtful Care, Windsor Place at Home Care LLC, Alliance Home Health Care, Inc., Best Clean KC, The Caring Heart, and Best Choice Home Health Care Agency, Inc. for in-home provider services for an aggregate amount not to exceed $1,750,000 per IFB 2025-038. The term will be for 1 year with the effective date of December 1, 2025.
Is there a second?
Second, Hanslick.
Moved by Commissioner Burr, second by Commissioner Hanslett. Commissioner Ashcraft?
Procedural question, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Wolf, why do we do this annually? Could we not do it for a longer period and give you some flexibility to add or delete
Just the term of
providers?
contracts, right?
That's a great question. My understanding is that this is the only way that we're able to add additional providers each year. So as services are needed, we can add.
Commissioner Burr?
A slightly more nuanced question. Why wouldn't we in the motion also approve the ability to renew those contracts? Wouldn't it allow you to renew with those you want to in the stable of contractors you have, but still add new contractors?
If the terms of the contract change, the contract terms are for an annual period. Now, in the future, if Mr. Wolf wants to work with legal and potentially come back with an evergreen agreement or an agreement that is for multiple years that would raise by CPI or whatever it may be. I'm getting hypothetical here. I think we'd entertain such contracts into the future, but I don't know that's appropriate to add to this motion, given the terms of the agreements that have already been negotiated with these various providers.
That's why it's just procedural.
No, I appreciate it. It's a good thought. I agree. All right, then I invite the clerk to call the roll, please.
Commissioner Fast,
Aye.
Commissioner Myers,
Myers, aye.
Commissioner Brewer,
Brewer, aye.
Commissioner Hanslick,
Hanslick, aye.
Commissioner Ashcraft,
Yes.
Chairman Kelly.
Aye, 6 in favor and none against. Is that consistent with your count?
It is.
Very good. Thank you, Mr.
Thank
Wolf. Thank you, everybody, for the good discussion. That's an important topic. But we'll consider item 11 now. This is consider the extension of authorization of the reallocation re-expenditure of 2025 Health and Environment Fund balance reserves in an amount of up to $121,000 originally authorized by the BOCC on October 9th, 2025 to fund WIC personnel expenses in the absence of federal funding through December 6th, 2025. Charlie Hunt, the Director of the Department of Health and Environment, is here. I want to thank you and your team for being diligent during this period of what is now the longest government shutdown in American history. Luckily, we have not had to utilize these funds that were previously authorized, but we did the authorization to a date certain in the hope and really the expectation that the federal government would get its act together and reopen and therefore authorize these important funds that help children and young mothers. Unfortunately, that has not yet happened. So the action you're asking us to take this morning is to authorize those same dollars that we have previously authorized and extend that date until December 6th, correct?
That's correct.
All
Yes.
right.
Yes, thank you.
Oh.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Good
Yeah.
morning, Commissioners. Chairman, you essentially laid out the request for us today. Maybe it might be helpful just to provide a quick update of the current status of things. To date, we've received approximately $209,000 in contingency funds from that were passed from the USDA to the state of Kansas. That should get us through November 15th. It is our understanding, based on news reports, that USDA has authorized an additional $450 million to WIC that they plan to transfer from the tariff funds. However, I do think it's important to note that we have not received any official information regarding that. This is just information that's been reported in the media. So we don't know what the status of things will be beyond November 15th at this point. So again, we have not had to tap into the reserve funds yet, but we appreciate your support such that if the state does run out of that contingency funding, that will allow us to continue to operate the WIC program.
Thank you very much. Commissioner Hanslett.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Hunt. Can you provide an update on funding, direct funding to WIC recipients? Are they still getting funding on their cards?
Yes, thank you, Commissioner. Again, the state has enough funding to get through November 15th is what we understand. And just as a reminder, that funding that supports the food benefits does not come to us. That is provided directly to the recipients, and the state pays the vendors for those transactions.
Thank you.
All right. Is there a motion at this time, Commissioner Hanslett?
I move to extend the authorization of the reallocation and expenditure of 2025 Health and Environment Fund Balance Reserves in an amount up to $121,000, originally authorized by the Board of County Commissioners on October 9th, 2025 to fund WIC personnel expenses in the absence of federal funding through December 6th, 2025.
Brewer, second.
So moved by Commissioner Hanslett, seconded by Commissioner Brewer. With no further questions or comments, would the clerk call the roll, please?
Commissioner Fast,
Aye.
Commissioner Myers,
Myers, aye.
Commissioner Brewer,
Brewer, aye.
Commissioner Hanslick,
Hanslick, aye.
Commissioner Ashcraft,
Yes.
Chairman Kelly.
Aye, 6 in favor, none against. Is that consistent with your count?
It is.
Very good. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
At this time, we'll go to a county manager's report from Ms. Posto Ferguson.
Chairman, thank you. Good morning, Commissioners. And first item, I'd like to bring West Root forward from Public Works. And as he comes forward, I'll highlight the item he's coming with trophy and other award winners with him. The KC Metro APWA Snow and Equipment Expo was held on October 8th through 10th. And brought together 22 agencies and 254 contestants for a showcase of skills and equipment. And we have several individual award winners, but this is also our back-to-back team award as well. So Wes, you want to give us some more details? Thanks for being here and congratulations.
Thank you. Good morning, Chairman, Commissioners. I'm Wes Root, Road Superintendent for Public Works. As Commissioner Brewer mentioned a few weeks ago, Public Works did it again. We brought home the APWA KC Metro Team Trophy for a second year in a row. There's together 22 agencies and over 254 competitors from across the region competing in skid steer, mini excavator, small and large plow trucks, wheel loader, and mechanic event, along with several classroom training sessions. I'm proud to share that Johnson County not only earned the team trophy, but had several employees placed among the top finishers in the events with over 100 contestants in each event. Jeff Swartz got first place in the skid steer. Our team also took second place and third place. Jeremy Biles, unfortunately, is not able to be with us today. He took first place in the large plow truck. And our crews also took 4th, 5th, and 9th place. Clint Atkins placed 3rd in the small plow truck. We also placed 4th 5th, 6th, and 10th. Joshua Drake. He placed 4th in both the mini excavator and the wheel loader, with additional 7th place in the wheel loader and 9th place in the mini excavator from other members. These results really highlight the skill and professionalism and dedication of our team. In addition to the APWA Metro Rodeo, last Thursday, we held our winter operations kickoff breakfast. Assistant County Manager Adam Norris joined us and shared the appreciation that the County Manager's Office and the Board of County Commissioners have for the work that we do when it comes to winter storms and taking care of the roads. After the breakfast, our crews inspected snow removal equipment, reviewed plowing techniques for intersections and cul-de-sacs. Then both the day drivers and the night drivers teamed up and went out and ran their roads. And while running the roads, they wanted to make sure that they're looking for any issues, steel plates, how to approach it so they can pass off the information when they shift from one shift to the other. So I'm incredibly proud of this group. Their skill, teamwork, and dedication represent Johnson County at its best. Thank you.
Mr. Root, I just have to emphasize the last thing you said, and that is this represents Johnson County at its best. And I couldn't agree more. When people think about the value of local government, it's what they maybe don't focus on every day, but when a storm happens or when they don't have the ability to get to work or get to school, that's really how we are judged. And to know that we have, for the second year in a row, the most talented people in the region at their craft is the best service, the best things that we can do as a local government. It's the fundamentals. It's why we're all here. So I want to thank you all very much for sharing your talent with us and being experts in your craft. I think the people that we have at Johnson County, the employees that dedicate themselves to being experts at their crafts and in service to the various departments or agencies or offices that we have within the county, that's what truly sets Johnson County apart as the best place to live, not only in the metro region, but I'd argue in America. And so while we could sit here and give you a good photo op, and I appreciate the hats, thank you very much. It's, part of our role to be a cheerleader for the good work that's done. Really, I just want to say a sincere thank you for being a part of this team and for contributing so directly to making people's lives better. So congratulations.
Thank you.
Commissioner Ashcraft? Yeah, clap for that.
Well, I was just going to make comment because you said something kind of in passing about the surveying of roads and watching out for steel plates. Fortunately, in Johnson County, we don't have a lot of steel plates. I say that though, years ago, I was a plow driver for the city of Olathe, and at 3 o'clock in the morning, hitting one of those steel plates, that'll wake you up. So,
or a manhole lid.
Yeah,
If the manhole
yeah.
lid happens to be up just a little bit, because years ago, we used to run with snow shoes and the blades would be up, 1/8 of an inch, 1/4 of an inch.
Yeah.
Now we run right on the ground. We're trying to get a
Yeah.
clear pavement.
Yeah.
And
So
it's
it's hard work, especially when you're going all night. So pass it on to your guys. We thank you. Thank you very,
Thank
very
you.
much.
Commissioner Burr.
I just want to say, as a commissioner from one of the areas that have a higher portion of unincorporated, Commissioner Alan Brand, who's not here today, in District 6, and then myself in District 3. I had occasion last week helping somebody who has a road issue that I'm discussing with them, to spend about a half day driving a lot of the roads. I try to drive the roads out in the unincorporated area on a somewhat regular basis, but going to some of the harder to get to roads. And so after just driving in my vehicle and understanding the difficulty sometimes to turn around and come back up that road, the the width of the road, the material on the road. Really, I gotta believe, looking at the pictures and seeing some of the video, that the competition you guys were in had to be a lot of fun, but also it really demonstrates the skill necessary to do the work that you're doing out on our county roads. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Chair. Well, I have 6 grandsons that are probably going to line up to replace you guys someday. And they would love to come and see you in action. I know that they're all about the different machinery and seeing what goes on, and they're excited. So watch out for your jobs. Go ahead.
Yes, again, thank you very much for being here. Congratulations and thanks for making us proud.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Next item is major projects update, and as a reminder, this report is for projects over $1 million and those with master plans. So highlighting a few things from the report, our MedAct Olathe facility is near completion. It's 99% complete. The ribbon cutting ceremony is scheduled for November 18th. And so there's some final things that they are doing there, but that's good news and almost there. The Sunflower Fire Station is 99% complete, and the uncoupling ceremony is scheduled for December 10th. So they are finishing up a few items there. And then the last thing I want to highlight is the Mid-America West Sports Complex improvements. There's phase 1 and phase 2. Field 27 is underway, and field 28 grading is complete. Storm sewer work is complete. Batting cage netting is installed, and practice areas are ready for turf installation. Fields 29 through 32 are ready for turf installation. Phase 1 was substantially complete the second quarter of 2025, and phase 2 is anticipated to be substantially complete third quarter of 2026. So those are some updates from the report. And Chairman, I'll move to the last item. Ask Tony Barron to come forward and give a quick highlight about the Johnson County Courthouse Micro Market. Tony?
Thank you. Good afternoon, or good morning, Tony Barron, Director of Facilities Management. I just want to give an update on the micro market. First of all, talk a little bit about the one that we've installed here in the admin area. From the feedback we've received, it's gone over really well. We've been consistent with sales, which has been great. And we're managing it from our department, but for the most part, the vendors do most of the work on that with the camera and the point of sale system. So we had some inquiries from the courthouse. We're excited to open a new one there. Our vendor is extremely excited to move over to the courthouse and start another business in that area. We do Vision Vending, is one of the state-sponsored vending companies that we go through for this. And so we are opening our second one at I have to say this is our third one. We kind of secretly opened one at the Northeast office also. I forgot about that one. So this would be our third location. So we're excited about it. I hope you all have enjoyed the one here in the admin building, and now we're looking forward to our constituents at the courthouse, along with some general public, being able to stop in for a quick sandwich. Be happy to answer any questions if you have.
Tony, thank you for being here to give us that update.
Thank you.
Did you bring any samples?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I did not.
We'll have to talk to him about that. Chairman, that concludes my report. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Bostock Ferguson. At this time, we'll hear commissioner comments. Start with Commissioner Ashcraft.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I was just going to take one moment and recognize, since your name came up in earlier conversation, I believe this coming weekend, Ms. Nguyen will be celebrating a birthday. So if she's still in the hall, happy birthday. Oh, okay. Happy birthday, Ms. Nguyen.
Commissioner Hands, or we'll go with Commissioner Brewer next.
Thank you. And I apologize, I had to step out for a personal call. First, I just certainly want to recognize, next week we'll be celebrating Veterans Day. And this morning we had a breakfast internally for staff who are veterans, and really appreciate the service of all our staff in the county. Really appreciate the service to our country that our staff who are veterans have given over their lifetime. And I believe there's a veterans event tomorrow as well at the Arts and Heritage, and I'm sure one of my fellow commissioners probably have a little bit more detail on that. Had the opportunity to participate with the library board on their annual retreat last week. So a lot of great discussion and ideas coming out of addressing library needs for our residents. Also had an opportunity to participate with the Juvenile Correction Advisory Board meeting yesterday. And really am interested in House Bill 2329 that may provide some updates to a Senate Bill 367. It was a juvenile justice reform bill. And as I get more information, I'll be happy to share it with my fellow commissioners as we understand more the impacts of that bill. And participated with a number of commissioners yesterday, understanding some conservation opportunities in the state of Kansas and specifically in Johnson County, and maybe where we are lacking as in a state in having public green space available, be it for parks and recreation or enjoying hunting and fishing. And maybe some steps that we can take as a state to recognize the beauty of our land and the opportunities, especially from an economic and tourism standpoint. And enjoy, speaking of economic, Spring Hill Chamber had their annual meeting last night, recognizing businesses in the Spring Hill area. I talked to somebody who had been attending chamber dinners with Spring Hill for many years, over 20 years now. And they said, last night looked like a sellout crowd, really filled the room. And years ago, there was, maybe 10 or 20 people. So that really shows how that city is growing by leaps and bounds. But most importantly, I want to really underscore, be you a resident in need or someone who wants to help and support the need around food insecurity, especially now during the government shutdown, both the county website and many of our local nonprofits throughout the bi-state area have opportunities on how we as a community can show up for each other during this acute time, and where if you are in need for food and have experiencing food insecurity, where you can go as a resident in our community. I just want to encourage folks to participate in any way possible to address this issue. Thank you.
Commissioner Myers.
Thank you, Chair. Well, I got to go out to Oaken Fieldhouse and celebrate the gold medal award with the Johnson County Parks and Recreation District employees. And it was a wonderful celebration. And while I was out there, I got to visit the Mid-America West complex and see the progress that's being made out there. And it's very exciting and just going to be again another great facility for softball, baseball, and youth events. And then last night I attended our last meeting of the year for the Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Coalition meeting, and it went very well. And then this morning attended the Johnson County Veterans Employee Recognition breakfast this morning. And tomorrow I will be attending the Johnson County Day Public Celebration Breakfast at the Matt Ross Community Center. So very excited. And I'm like all the commissioners on this dais. We love to celebrate our veterans and thank them for their service.
Thank you. Commissioner Fast.
Yes, I serve on the Criminal Justice Advisory Committee, and there was a meeting this week. Johnson County was selected as a pilot site for the Stepping Up Youth Initiative in partnership with the Council of State Governments, Justice Center, and the state of Kansas. So this summer, they brought together a large group of community stakeholders, around, I think, 40 to 50, to look at our service system for youth involved in the justice system and map it out. Where are the gaps? What do we do well? So they reported on this mapping, and one of the gaps, which I really like this idea, is to have families often don't know who to call. All they have is, the prosecutor, and they maybe have their defense lawyer. But is there some sort of system navigator, peer support person for the youth and for the family, which is a real hole in the system. Yesterday, it was really exciting to hear about the Kansas Park and Recreation Group coming together, bringing us their state legislators about having a state conservation fund. Missouri has that. Only 14 states don't have a conservation fund. It's not only for parks and recreation, but for hunting, wildlife. In Missouri, it's a 1/8 of a sales tax. They're not looking at a sales tax for it, but maybe lottery funding for it. And so that would be an option, you know, for developing perhaps the sunflower ammunition plant, city of Lenexa for different projects, but everybody would compete across the state. Also, Prairie Village Sustainability Committee had an event last night that I attended. I brought up that there's a number of cities have sustainability committees, and you know, and when I first started, worked with Brian to bring these committees together, and perhaps to do this again, to bring all these sustainability committees, and we have our county sustainability. How can we work together maybe on some shared goals?
Thank you. Commissioner Ashcraft has asked for a small moment of personal privilege.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. You know, when you attempt to recognize birthdays of key staff, you always miss some, and it was pointed out very subtly that the new communications director, Lisa Thurber's birthday is also November 8th. So Ms. Thurber, I apologize. I didn't do a very good job of communicating. So welcome.
Commissioner Hanslick.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. First of all, I appreciated the conversation in regard to aging issues. And I'd like to encourage us to follow up on your suggestion to perhaps consider a study session about aging, perhaps even a subcommittee to study aging, and what are the county's opportunities and challenges to help meet those issues. And I know one of those ways is at the top of our legislative priorities this year is to encourage the state legislature to expand the access to the senior tax rebates. In fact, I had a call from my constituent just this week, and she is very concerned that she will no longer qualify for the SafeServe program because her house is probably one appraisal away from hitting that $350,000 mark. And she said that rebate has really meant so much to her and allowed her to stay in her home. So I think looking at these aging issues from a holistic standpoint is something that's really important. I'd be glad to help put something like that together and work with Tim Wolf on that. Speaking of aging and previous commissioners, I had the opportunity last week to visit with former 4th District County Commissioner Dolores Furtado. Dolores, I've known her for a long time, but she specifically called me because she has downsized, and she had a copy of the 2007 resolution that she had introduced and advocated for to prohibit smoking in the unincorporated areas. And she said that was really the action that then allowed cities to consider that prohibiting smoking in public places. That's what she said. Yeah, it seems like it was longer ago than that, but it was interesting because she talked about she got so much pushback from that, and now here we take it all for granted that of course people don't smoke on airplanes or in restaurants. So just a shout out to former County Commissioner Furtado. And one last thank you, as I understand, a special thanks go to Kevin Pine with DTI for helping us get all of this set up today. I understand he's responsible especially for making sure our chairs came down. So, so thank you, Kevin.
Thank you. I'll try to be brief. One of the things I like to do is kind of give a little bit of summary of what we did here today. And I think even though this is a cold agenda and a relatively quick meeting, there's still a lot of great work that was done, whether it's partnering with cities for helping to make sure the buildings that they are able to build are safe, or partnering with the cities in the state to study an important traffic corridor, appointing a lot of great folks to various committees and tapping into expertise that we have within our community. The amount of volunteer support we get, I know we put a fiscal number on that on an annual basis, but it's immense. And we're very grateful for people who step up and volunteer for these efforts. But making sure that people can stay in their home, the impact that it has. I look forward to that conversation, Commissioner Hanslick, and the financial impact that that has on folks is immense. But then stepping up during this government shutdown, we appreciate that the community continues to step up. We live in a very great community, and we're lucky to be here. And the Johnson County government and the 4,200 employees do a great job on an annual basis feeding the need. Our partnership with United Way has a long storied history, but I think it's clear that the need is now. Again, this is the longest government shutdown we've ever seen in our country. SNAP benefits are most definitely at risk. Our children and our seniors should not have to wonder about where their next meal is coming from. It's not only good for our community and our economy, it's a moral obligation. And I truly believe that. So I appreciate the partnership of United Way to snap into action in the greater Kansas City metropolitan region. We're collecting food here today. We will continue to do so at our next meeting on November 13th. And please keep appraised of our social media and our website for specific events we'll be having in Johnson County to either pack meal kits or distribute those meal kits to people in need. Also, at the same time, it's important that you continue to support your local food banks, ones that operate 365 days a year, because that need has not just vanished. There is definitely additional need in our communities. And again, I'm proud of our community for stepping up, and thank you to the employees, as well as those who come to our meetings for doing your part. I look forward to what we're able to do together. But again, call on our federal representatives to end this government shutdown and get back to work, do your jobs. Another partnership that I want to mention is Tuesday was Election Day. The partnerships that we have with cities, our school boards, community colleges, water boards, they are so inherently important to the quality of life that we're able to provide the people in Johnson County. So I'd like to congratulate all of those who were either reelected or newly elected to various positions with these local levels of government. But I also want to thank anybody that put their name on the ballot. It is a difficult thing, especially in today's political climate, to put your name on a ballot. You subject yourself to ridicule and toxicity that is inappropriate, but very real. So thank you very much for your service to the community and your willingness to be involved. Even if you weren't elected, there's other opportunities to serve your community, and I'd hope you'd look at what those opportunities may be. So thank you all very much for making Johnson County a great place to live. We have a number of executive sessions here today that we will be undertaking, but also a dense agenda review. So because of of that agenda review. A number of guests we have are here for that agenda review. What we're going to do is we're going to recess today's board meeting. We're going to take a short break. And then in about 15 minutes, we're going to restart with the agenda review. But absent objection from any board members, this BOCC meeting will be held in recess. Thank you all very much.